reviewing and study. It wasn't until 1973 that CIA Director Richard Helms ordered for the destruction of all MKUltra. Pursuant to this order, most CIA documents regarding the project were destroyed, making a full investigation of MKUltra virtually impossible. 4. North Korean experimentation. We all know that North Korea is a very secretive place, and we don't exactly have the clearest idea of what happens behind the country's closed doors. Well, there have been many reports of North Korean human experimentation. These reports show human rights abuses similar to those of the human experimentation projects during World War II. These allegations of human rights abuses are denied by the North Korean government, of course, who claim that all prisoners in North Korea are humanely treated. One former North Korean woman prisoner tells how 50 healthy women prisoners were selected and given poisoned cabbage leaves, which all the women had to eat despite cries of distress from those who had already eaten. According to her, all 50 were dead within 20 minutes due to excessive amounts of vomiting, blood, and anal bleeding. Refusing to eat would have meant reprisals against them and their families. A former prison head of security at Camp 22 by the name of Kwon Hyuk described that the facility included laboratories that were equipped respectively for poison gas, suffocation gas, and blood experiments, in which 3 or 4 people, normally a family, are the experimental subjects. After undergoing medical checks, the chambers are sealed and poison is injected through a tube, while scientists observe from above through glass. Kwon Hyuk claims to have watched one family of 2 parents, a son and a daughter, die from suffocating gas, with the parents trying to save the children using mouth-to-mouth resuscitation for as long as they had the strength. This alone shows how disgusting this facility really is. 3. Japan Unit 731. So it's fairly common knowledge that World War II was no stranger to human experimentation. Throughout the 1930s and 1940s, the Japanese Imperial Army conducted biological warfare and medical testing on civilians, mostly in China. The death toll of these brutal experiments is unknown, but is estimated to be at least 200,000 people. Among the atrocities were wells infected with cholera and typhoid and plague-ridden fleas spread across Chinese cities. Prisoners were forced to march through freezing weather as part of an experiment to determine what would be the best treatment for frostbite. Former members of the unit have told media outlets that prisoners were dosed with poison gas, put in pressure chambers until their eyes popped out, and even dissected while alive and conscious. After the war concluded, the U.S. government helped keep the experiments secret as part of a plan to make Japan a Cold War ally. 2. The Burke and Hare murders. Does anybody know about the Burke and Hare murders? I mean, it was kind of overshadowed by the whole Jack the Ripper incident later in the century, but the Burke and Hare murders were pretty notorious back in their heyday. Until the 1830s, the only legally available bodies for dissection by anatomists were those of executed murderers. As you'd expect, however, executed murderers became a rarity. Many of those studying anatomy took to buying bodies from grave robbers or doing the robbing themselves. Edinburgh boarding house owner William Hare and his close friend William Burke took this entrepreneurial activity one step too far. From 1827 to 1828, the 2 men killed and snatched up more than a dozen lodgers at the boarding house and sold their bodies to Robert Knox. According to Mary Roach's book, Stiff, The Curious Lives of Human Cadavers, published in 2003 by W.W. Norton and Company, Knox apparently didn't notice, or didn't care, that the bodies his newest suppliers were bringing him were suspiciously fresh. William Burke was later caught and then hung for his crimes, and the case spurred the British government to loosen the restrictions on dissection. 1. The Tuskegee Study. This may be the most infamous case of human experimentation on this list, as this lapse in medical ethics in the United States lasted for 40 years. Back in 1932, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the U.S. Public Health Service launched a study on the health effects of untreated syphilis. Sounds like a good cause, right? Well, not exactly. Unfortunately for the unwitting participants, the study did not involve the actual treatment of syphilis. The researchers tracked the progression of the disease in 399 black men in Alabama. 201 healthy men were also followed. telling them they were being treated for bad blood. As a matter of fact, the men included in the experiment never got the adequate treatment required, even in 1947 when penicillin became the drug of choice to treat syphilis. It wasn't until a 1972 newspaper article exposed the study to the public that officials shut it down. Did we leave any disgusting human experiments out? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and tap the bell button for notifications of our latest videos. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching another amazing video, folks. Subscribe for more from Elite Facts.